Okay, so thank you all for coming to my workshop. It means a lot to me to have you here. It means more to me today to actually bring my research team here, who I will introduce you to later on. That means a lot more than bringing myself here, I can tell you. This workshop is actually about partly my own research in Kampong Cham and my own PhD thesis, which is now more than a year and a half into my work. I've been in Kampong Cham now for 6 months, and I'm finding the work very challenging. It goes up and it goes down, but I'm doing an action research approach instead of a lot of the more conventional types of research. I'm trying to look for what we call impactful research using asset-based community development. I've been very lucky to meet Professor Albert Teo in the last 6 months, who's a pioneer, and also my supervisor, Professor Catherine Gibson, is one of the most well-recognized users of asset-based community development. And if you follow the links that Albert has provided on his website, on his presentation to the ABCD Institute, you will see some manuals from my supervisor, and I have been using those manuals in my research, so they could be useful for you also if this presentation interests you. You want to know more about ABCD and how to use it in a local context, then you can download the manuals. So my work is trying to be practical, but it is also theoretical. It is a thesis. I'm trying not to do too much theory here today, but there will be some. So if some of you get something from that theory, it's great. If you do not, then I will try not to spend too much time on it. Okay, so as I've told you, my project then is a participatory action research project, but what I am doing is exploring social enterprise as a practice of local economic development. What I mean is, it's a practice, it's not necessarily just a form. It's not like a table or a chair. This is a social enterprise, this is not a social enterprise. I'm looking at social enterprise as a process and a practice for community development and the emergence of sustainable, diverse economies, which can help communities be more resilient to kinds of stresses and shocks, whether it's from climate change to the impact of globalization or the impact of competing demands for resources. I'm looking at the different uses of social enterprise development in communities. Also, my work builds on the idea of situated practice. I was in Belgium 3 months ago now to present some work I did in Privy here, and that was like a pilot for this work, really. And I was arguing that what social enterprise means in Cambodia is not what social enterprise means in a lot of other countries. So it's situated in Cambodia. What social enterprise means here to Cambodian people is affected by culture, it's affected by policy, it's affected by market mechanisms, it's affected by the dreams and aspirations of Cambodian people themselves. The context for my work, when I came here in 2009, I got a grant from the British Council to start a project at the Royal University of Phnom Penh, and as a result we founded this conference, and I still continue to deliver a program called Social Enterprise and Non-Profit Management as part of a development studies program. And there is now this debate about the effectiveness of aid. What do we do after the Millennium Development Goals? Now they're talking about the Sustainable Development Goals instead of the Millennium Development Goals after 2015. Donors are changing their ideas about aid and how to deal with the more pressing social issues that they haven't been so successful at addressing under the Millennium Development Goal projects. And also in the context of the 2008 financial crisis, where either donors say there is less money available for aid, or they use it as an excuse to say, well, we had the financial crisis and actually we've already wanted to cut aid, so now is a good time to do it. So we get social enterprise as this new model for international development. But there is also actually a more long-term, longer discussion that's been nearly 20 years now. I've seen it in the literature when we were first talking about NGOs becoming social enterprise, that they said that if an NGO is truly an NGO, it shouldn't be dependent on the government. It should be supporting itself. So they're saying that instead of getting funding from donors and governments who tell you what to do, if you are truly independent, you should be funding yourself, and that way you are truly legitimate and independent. I've engaged with donor community quite a lot in the last 4 years. I've had meetings with people from JICA, meetings with people from ADB, meetings with Ramian Credit Agricole Foundation, and so on, and Impact Investment Exchange in Singapore, and there's a link to their website. And these organizations are concerned with big amounts of funding. They say, can you find any social enterprises that need $250,000? We think we can get that kind of investment for them. And that's not really, for me, social investment. That's just investment and looking for a place to put your money and get some interest. I think, well, number one, a lot of the social enterprises are NGOs, and your investment is no good to them because they can't give you equity. They can't do that. So the model you're looking at is not so appropriate. But also, I'm saying that most of the social enterprises are started by expatriate people in Cambodia, and they're big organizations. And it's like looking at a mountain, and we can see the top of the mountain, but we can't see the whole mountain. Most social enterprises are small-scale, in your community, local economic projects or small businesses with small amounts of money doing very important work. That is 90 or 95% of the social enterprises. But these donors, they're just interested in that top 5%. I spoke to one donor and they said, we have 6 million. And we want to put 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. I said, how about putting 1 million of that with a local organization? There's one called Shift 360. I said, how about putting it with this organization? And they can then manage it as an incubation fund and provide $20,000 seed capital here and there. And maybe in 10 years' time from now, you'll have some really big Cambodian social enterprises started by Cambodian social entrepreneurs. But it's not on their agenda because they want risk-free investment. So this sets the context for my own research. Investment-ready social enterprises are few in number, and really we need to focus on indigenous, Cambodian-led social entrepreneurs who need small amounts of money and just a break to get started. If they fail, they fail. 9 out of 10 will fail, but if you invest $1 million, that means that you're going to get maybe 50 or 100 social enterprises who become very successful. So it leaves me wondering when I speak to the donor community over the last few years, what is the reason for social enterprise, especially in Cambodia? What is what we call the raison d'etre? From the local perspective, how is social enterprise understood? Why would they even think about initiating social enterprise? There are problems with the definitions, and this is why I look at practice and process. Say, this is a social enterprise, this is not. This is a table, this is a chair. It's not make any sense to me to say it is or is not a social enterprise. I look at the idea of the process and how an organization helps people. If we look at, there's this conceptual thing called algorithm. It means like in computer language, you have a code and it generates all kinds of new software. If we take social enterprise as just an idea, we can understand why there are hundreds of different kinds of social enterprise. Co-op, association, different kinds of societies, NGOs. They don't look anything like each other. But we don't need to say one is social enterprise, one is not. They all come from one idea, which is using a business-focused market approach to solve social problems. We don't need to be concerned with whether we are or are not a social enterprise by whoever wants to define it. We need to focus on what we actually do and not our label. So, in the management literature, we get a lot of talk about the socially heroic individuals, socially driven, innovative, take risks, take opportunities, and scale up their idea. And I think these are true, but I have some criticism of that. There is also a discussion that they create this social value. They create economic value, they make profit. They create social value, but the two have to be merged together to be a social enterprise. But I think social value is very poorly defined in some respects, especially in relation to Cambodia. So one of the criticisms of this management approach is that it takes management literature and it only looks at management literature, and it excludes sociology, it excludes all kinds of other academic disciplines, anthropology, geography, all these different ways of thinking about something that generate legitimate knowledge. It just takes the management literature and says, okay, we put all this together and we become more and more knowledgeable about management. That's what social entrepreneurship seems to be doing, and I think that that neglects a lot of other input from different ways of thinking. And also, it is like a post-ideological discourse. It's like saying, okay, we have the market approach now. We don't need to think about culture and politics and personal ambition and dreams. We just say that this is like project management now. It's a business-focused approach, and we can do it in this way. And you can learn this at a university. You can buy the course, you can buy the manual, and then you can just implement a social enterprise like that. But actually, social enterprise depends on what people want and the local culture and how people understand social enterprise. So taking ideology out of social enterprise and making it just like something that's like project management, I don't agree with this approach either. You get a process then, you get a focus on things like markets, in microfinance especially, and can we say microfinance is social enterprise or it's something else? A lot of the practitioners in Cambodia will tell you that microfinance has positive externalities, but some very, very bad negative things happen because of microfinance sometimes. We can't always call it a social enterprise. And then we have this thing about social value, and what does social value really mean? And there is some writing that tells us that social value does actually depend on what the social mission or the objectives are. Social enterprises don't always want to grow. You don't always think about, well, you're a business, you want to grow. That's what businesses do. Some social enterprises don't really want to grow. They just want to provide a service in their community and make sure they can do it sustainably. So I have a proposal that social value might mean something different. Social value means that people's capabilities in the community are promoted. They have legitimate expectations for their own life, for their integrity, for their development, for poverty reduction. And social enterprise maintains the expectations that people are allowed to have about having a better life. And it is also something that allows people to move from a position of being needy, neediness, I need this before I can act, to a position of, I have this, I can act. The glass is half full, I am an active economic citizen. I do not need something before I act, I can act because I have something. The aims and objectives of my research are to investigate social enterprise in Cambodia, and what is the context in Cambodia. Also to focus, as I said, on social enterprise as a process. What does social enterprise do in the course of its business and its emergence and its fulfillment of its duty? What does it do, rather than is it a social enterprise according to this or that criteria? And also then to generate a methodology. I'm trying to look for a practical research using action research and ABCD to develop what we call a collaborative practice, something that is participatory, where social enterprise becomes a strategy that communities use themselves. It is their own strategy. They have ownership. They set the direction. Theoretically, I am not what they call an empirical researcher. I do not think that the facts are out there to be discovered and observed. I think what you observe depends on what you want to observe and how the starting point for your own research. So for me, the economy is not just observed objectively. We cannot stand back and say, oh, this is the economy. When we research the economy, we are creating the economy because we are setting the agenda for the economy. Research creates things, it does not just reflect them. Research makes things happen. When we research something, people do more research. Policymakers make decisions. People become inspired and take up ideas and start businesses. So research makes things happen. It produces the effect. It does not reflect it. So therefore, in my research, I'm justified in doing action research, which is to say, I want to make change happen. I'm not claiming to be objective, unbiased. I have an idea, and I want to see if it works or not. But I'm trying to make something change because of my research. And how can this then produce sustainable effects for local economic development in Kampong Cham? It requires that we rethink what the economy even means. Does the economy mean big business, capitalism, investment? Or what about things like housework? What about informal business and gifts that people give to each other? Or things people exchange? Or things people grow to feed themselves? I mean, just 4 months in the villages in Kampong Cham, and I realized that people survive because they grow rice. Not everything requires money. And also, they might substitute some resources, share some resources, or even use things in new ways. When they don't have something, they might take something they have already and use it to try and substitute, because they can use something different. But all these things, my point is that they are not smaller or inferior or less than normal economy that we think about. They are just different. And if we think that the economy is different and there are lots of different things that have different value, then we don't have to say one is better than the other. We can just say they're all different, but equally legitimate and equally important. And this brings me then to asset-based community development. What are the assets we have? The assets we have is not just capitalism and money. That's just a drop in the ocean of the assets that people actually have in communities. And ABCD has become increasingly important in international development programs because they've realized that actually communities can do a lot of things for themselves, and that if they are seen as the object of interventions all the time and needs analysis and a needs approach, then they stay needy and they don't look to resources to use them in new ways. In fact, they have what we call a deprivation deficit. They have the incentive to stay poor because if they get themselves not poor, then the aid money will stop. So I'm trying to think about social enterprise in a different way, to look at how social enterprises use different assets, financial resources, but also non-financial. As Professor Teo was saying this morning, the social relationships that people have allow us to mobilize different kinds of resources and use different resources in different ways. We can look at physical assets, natural assets, and we can see what incentives people have to use them. What are the cultural issues? What are the historical issues? And how do people actually perceive these resources and think that they can be used? So the asset-based approach is that the glass is half full. Most simply, this is the asset-based approach right here. Communities have assets, and if we focus only on needs, or if we focus primarily on needs, then we are not using the resources we have to the best of our ability. I'm using participatory action research in my approach, which basically goes around in 2 cycles of action, observation, reflection, revision, and action, reflection. again. And so I'm doing research with 9 community researchers. They are my research team. They are researchers just like me. And we are validating our data through the newsletter that you've received. We wrote this newsletter and looked at it and agreed that this is where the project is at so far. So in a way, they are collaborating not just on being a source of data, but actually determining whether the data is accurate or not. And I'm also working with an organization called Buddhism for Social Development Action, the SDA. And the SDA in Kampong Cham are moving to a social business model. They've been encouraged by a Swiss investor. They have a range of social businesses from Apsara dancing to handicraft production. They also have a restaurant called the Smile Restaurant, which is the #1 restaurant on TripAdvisor in Kampong Cham. So part of my research is actually helping the SDA with their strategy for social enterprise development. What we're thinking is, how can we maximize the social value of these businesses and maximize the way in which they generate resources which benefit the community and help communities make the most of the assets they have. Vilsabao and Chum Hock are near to what we call Bache. You can see here and here. Here is what we call Bache. They are the 2 closest villages. By satellite, you can see Chum Hock is slightly bigger than Vilsabao. In the research activities, then, I have, as I told you already, I began by recruiting and training a translator who became my research assistant. And then I recruited 9 research participants, and these are 3 community organizers: a village chief, a deputy chief, a community committee member, a middle woman seller, should I say, and one person who has graduated from the Buddhism for Social Development vocational training and now has started a restaurant, and a teacher, and actually 2 university students have joined. I began with some semi-structured interviewing, and then really to set the context for this work, I did a focus group where we talked about what they think of local economic development and what the economy means. And then we did some exercises called asset mapping, which we will do later in this workshop. So I call this a hybrid research collective. I am not the researcher really here. The most important researchers are the teacher, the village chief, the village deputy chief, the middle person seller, the students, the Sanaki, the VSDA graduates. These are the real researchers in this project. I'm just a facilitator. So they are becoming researchers. They are doing activities which generate shared knowledge. We did this activity where we just all put stickers on each other and had to write down 3 things: something I've done at work, something I've done in my life useful to this project, something I did at the weekend. We put this all on the board, and they had to guess who wrote what. And most of them got, for example, with the village chief, they all knew, oh, the village chief did this, so they knew it was him. But they found out new things about each other that they did not know before. And they said they realized we have shared knowledge. With my own knowledge, I know this. But now I know these other people have skills and experiences I didn't know about. Firstly, I can see we're different. People are different. They are not the same. And that is another principle underpinning my research, is that communities are not the same. They are different. If we think that communities, people in communities all want the same thing, then we are just destined for more failed development projects. Then we also did a field visit to the SDA, where they could actually see and get new ideas and see social enterprise in action and reflect on what that means to them. So becoming researchers, we did this exercise. And they find new things. A monk who works for Buddhism for Social Development Action, he says, she also works for the BSDA. I never knew she actually started this restaurant from her own idea. This is useful to me. I can see even when we think we know people, we can get new and useful information if we share. Another village committee member spoke of the monk and said, I did not know he also works in health promotion like me. I work in a health centre. In future, this information is useful to both of us. And at the end, you see two students who did not know actually that they both studied management. If we create discussion groups, the aim of a focus group discussion and this kind of research is to allow people to find out new things about each other and realize that if you have shared knowledge, you have more options than if you have your own knowledge. If you have your own knowledge, it's always going to be a duck, or it's always going to be a rabbit. If you have shared knowledge, it's a duck or it's a rabbit. You've got more options. You know more things. You can share more information, get new ideas. We also did exercise. They are researchers. They are researchers in the community. They did 50 questionnaires, got them filled in. They were brought back, and I ran some stuff through SPSS, just looking at the gifts that people have, the skills that people have, the things people do in the village, and try to bring it to their attention that, you know, this is a portrait, this is a reflection of the gifts and skills you have. We can see that actually more than half of the people in the village who were surveyed help with children's education in different ways, either in the home or at work or in a community setting. Especially younger people are helping children to learn, but even amongst older groups, older men and older women, 50 years plus, 60 years plus, they are involved in helping children to learn. Catering and community festivities also bring out the other skills that people have, which can make us think about new opportunities in hospitality and catering businesses. A considerable number of people at home frequently cater for more than 10 people, either by washing or helping with dishes or cutting or preparing food. It's a skill that people have that maybe is under-recognized sometimes. Even more surprising to me was the number who used computers. I mean, these are two villages where they are farming rice. Rice is their survival. They are subsistence rice farmers, and apart from rice, mostly they grow spinach, chokun, morning glory, string bean. That is their livelihood. And I thought that maybe one or two people in the village would ever use a computer, but no. Many people have used computers. So when we want to start a newsletter or a newspaper, there are people with this skill. We also find that people help each other a lot. And there is a lot of literature which shows how what we call social capital has been damaged in Cambodia by different things. Not just the conflict, but actually the remonetization of the Cambodian economy during the 1990s, when the donor community remonetized the economy so quickly, it changed people from being neighbors to being customers, and changed relations from helping to being monetary exchange. But actually, I found that people help each other with shopping, with transportation. If we were thinking about what resources do we have to start a social business, and they say, can't do, we don't have a truck. If they look at this, they can say, actually, people drive trucks, people share transport, people help each other. We focus on the assets, not the needs. There are assets in the village that maybe are underused. Basic things, basic fruits, bananas, coconuts. They have water and they have electricity now. They have electrified villages, and it was recognized readily that these are assets in the community. And this is an interesting story, probably very well known to most Khmer people, but not to me. Is the story of the local rice mill who will mill people's rice free of cost. He charges nothing. All he asks is that he can keep the husk, and the husk is used for animal feed, and sometimes he can sell the husk. But this is a resource in the community. People are getting their rice as long as the rice miller can keep the rice husk. Apparently he uses it to make rice wine as well, so maybe there are some negative externalities, but some positive ones. And they work together. And the village chief, Mr. Bong Nebsat, he mobilized the people in the village to build a ceremony centre in Chung Hok. And the ceremony centre in Ville Sabelle existed since 1979, but they do maintain it and they do use it for festivities on a regular basis. And it's an example that they can recognise where they do work together. When we did the field study tour to BSDA, we looked at the Rice Fields Kids Village, which is close to their community. And maybe this distorts the analysis somewhat because not every rural community has this emerging on their doorstep. But Ville Sabelle and Chung Hok do, and this is the best thing to happen in Kampong Cham. It's incredible, and if you go to Kampong Cham, you must see it. It's a vocational centre where they're training children, they're training people for weaving and sewing, and they sell the products in the BSDA restaurant. This is going to, in the future, have a meditation retreat for tourists. It's going to have swimming pool, and it's going to have an organic farm, and it's got dormitories for 100 children. And this is being funded by a Swiss investor called Eco-Solidar. And the interesting thing about Eco-Solidar is that they fund culturally appropriate organisations and NGOs, but they are looking more towards social business and sustainable social business solutions for development problems. The field visit was great, and it was very successful, and the villagers, I think, clearly enjoyed it. From one villager, we had the commentary. The transformation of this land from a rice field to a vocational training centre with water and electric would never have been imagined before. It demonstrates improvements are possible when people are creative. This is my translation, but I think it's more or less accurate. And another person has said, I feel like after I visited, I see something now, a picture in the future. Our business opportunity, it might be different in a few years from now. And other things that we have looked at in terms of understanding what is a social enterprise as a process, we would look at something like, we would look at the flows of resources. This is how assets are used, who benefits, and in what situations do people benefit from the different assets that are generated by a social enterprise. So BSDA, for example, they also have an English language school teaching 600 children. Not just English, but Chinese, and I think some other languages as well. And they provide scholarships for the poorer students to go and learn the languages. So the scholarships are a resource flow. They have economic value to the person who is receiving it. The community events that can come from BSDA, the Apsara dancing, the other kinds of enterprises that have emerged from BSDA's programs, whether it's a Samaki student restaurant, whether it's some people doing sewing and weaving, these are all resource flows from BSDA. Resource flows are complex. They're influenced by cultural processes, natural processes in terms of things like climate change, maybe change what is possible when we look at resource flows. But I think that mapping resource flows helps maybe for participants or researchers to think about how resource flows can be changed so that we maximize the social benefit of a social enterprise. If a social enterprise is like a car with lots of parts, it's not just one thing. We want to make sure every part of the car is working well. And if we have the car working well, more people are going to benefit as a result of that. So social enterprise for me is an enterprise that maximizes in every way possible to the best of its ability the social outflows of its resources. So more simply then, this is a resource flow map maybe of BSDA. It's got supporters, it's got, not investors in this case, but it's got supporter organisations, but it also generates salaries for people. It has producers and it has workers within the vocational training programme. But other benefits might be local businesses, tuk-tuk riders, construction workers working on the rice fields village, and in the future maybe other kind of associations and cooperatives can benefit. It produces resources in terms of health projects, child caring, saving group. It reinvests money from the restaurant into its own growth. So we can see that a social enterprise has many different resources, and if we map them, we can think about maximising the benefits that social enterprises generate. We can also recognise then that we have partial alliances. We have alliances with tuk-tuk riders, we have alliances with construction workers. They're not complete alliances, we're not forming an association with them, but we recognise that loosely their objectives are also compatible with our objectives if we want to see community development. We can consider things like the multi-stakeholder version of a social enterprise. There is a lot of literature on this, but the principle is that the members of a social enterprise are not the only people who should make decisions. People outside the social enterprise who depend on the resources should also be involved in the decision-making process. And this is something that asset-based approaches are useful for doing, because they can create more knowledge about the relationships between different people in the community and how different people should be involved in decision-making processes. And this means that we have more ethical economic decisions. We have more democratic decisions about the economy. If we think about social enterprise as a means of economic democracy and participation in the economy, not just passive consumption, but actual active participation, we think about what do we really need, what is necessary, how much should we produce, and what should we do with what we don't need that we produce, the surplus, what is left over, how should we use it, how should we consume that, and what are the common resources, the resources that we all share, natural resources, social resources, how can we maximize those assets for the community. In terms of observing and reflecting, I wanted to do a lot more with Chumben. I'm very interested in Chumben as a social resource for the community. And when we look at the resource flow for Chumben, who are the primary recipients of the resource flow from Chumben? Who is the primary recipient? The monk? No. Dead people. The ancestors, right? So what does a social enterprise mean in Cambodia? When we say the number one most important resource flow of a social enterprise is the dead ancestor. You can throw your textbook out the window in Cambodia, because this is something that is more meaningful when we understand how would Cambodian people use resources, why would they use it. We have to really understand that. We like to do things, we share our food now, we cook together, we have lunch together, we do asset map, we think about new ideas for the local economy. And we validated our data with the newsletter that you all have in front of you. In the stage 2 activities, as you can see, in the second research cycle, I'm on the action, was doing a workshop for the conference, and the observation today for me is the conference itself. Finally then, rescued. My final slide is to really just say then, in summary, what does social enterprise mean, especially in Cambodia? Who are the decision makers in a social enterprise, and who should be the decision makers? There is an argument to say that people who run the social enterprise need to be the decision makers because it's a business, and if it fails, it fails. And it can be very messy to have too many people involved in running a business. But there has to be a balance between As Professor Lisa Decane says, there has to be a balance between treating people as objects and actually providing services which empower beneficiaries to become more active. And we should also consider what are the resources to start a social enterprise. We don't just look at money. If you just look for money for the social enterprise, number one, you are not using the resources that you really have, all the assets in the community. And number two, you are not generating something that is sustainable, that is harmonized with the cultural values and the dreams and aspirations of the community. If you understand what assets people have and what relationships people have, and you use that to start a social enterprise, people will support it. They won't just sit back and expect something to be put in their hand. They will actively become involved and spend their time making it work. And finally, what are and what should be the resource flows of a social enterprise? So I thank you for your time, but I don't really think that my voice here is so important. I would like to introduce some people who are researchers just like me, who are more important than me in this project, and who are the real researchers. So if I can ask Mr. Sokun to help me just for a couple of minutes and persuade a couple of people to say a few words. Maybe okay, so please, even if you're not going to speak, come back. So please, don't clap for me. These are the real researchers, Chongpok and real survivors. Okay, Sokru, maybe you just want to speak.
ก็สมควรจ้าหนังก็มาแต่ช่วงสายสะเกินจีนไปสิบวันผมรู้ประมาณมีโครงการที่มาปีองการ BSA ครับผู้จำที่มีส้มสัญญาส้มหมู่งานปีจำนวนประมาณแต่เลยซอยหนึ่งใต้ได้โลบิสะปัจจุบันคือจบการสายชื่อบอกว่าในครับผู้จำจนรวมจำนวนองการที่ทำของนายให้ปัจจุบันเลยจะสร้างนั้นมันโดก็มาวิสัยนะรายชื่อคิดไปเลยจังที่การทำมันโดก็มาวิสัยเดียวหรือก็พุ่มก็มาวิสัยจังปัจจุบันนี้องค์การ BSF ประกาศมันโด1 ล้านประกาศมันโด1 ล้านสำหรับต่อที่หลายสนามนั้นเราบรรดาจิตวิทยาเราต้องก็มาที่เรื่องนึงก็มาใครก็แต่ในตามบอลจิตตรงให้น้องได้รายชื่อคิดไปเลยนี่คือเชียร์ซออินเตอร์ไพรส์ให้ปัจจุบันโดยกลุ่มโลนึกประกันร้านเราไปช่วยประกันอาชีพกรรมจำเนียนเราประกอบให้ประกอบนั้นยอดจำเนียนจะปราบให้ประกันอาชีพกรรมดิจิทัลโดยกัดได้ให้ในใกล้จะมาโดยที่ปัจจุบันทำไมนี่ยังเรียนสักเหมือนนี้แต่ก็เจ้าหนึ่งจ็อบทำไมโดยที่เป็นงานลงตัวก็จ็อบในทางจำเนียนจงใจยังก็จะก็จ็อบได้ก็ปานยอดจำเนียนนี้แต่ปาน business ที่ผู้ยิงทางมุ่งสำหรับโครงการในบอกประกอบยังนี้ที่ในมุ่งในซอยในปลายให้การเงินที่ว่าคือตัวพอเราเขาต่อสากลในจุ่มเป็นกลุ่มโรงประมาณกองกำลังเชียร์นั้นมีต่างปีภูมิคงอันยาทอดันได้ที่เป็นเซ็ตมีหนึ่งเป็นชีพรอดแต่ในจุ่มเป็นกลุ่มโรงประมาณมีกองกำลังเชียร์ยังผู้ก่อสแตนเชียร์นั้นตัวพอที่กลุ่มโรงซอยในปลายหนึ่งก็ให้นุ่งสมบางแห่งแต่ตอนนั้นให้ตัวกักดอเนี่ยในโชว์รูมบางแห่งในการจะนับอารมณ์เลยการชมสายเชื่อมบอลเลยสักครั้ง
How do I turn this off? But playing. Okay, sorry. So please, they don't have to stand in the way like that. Okay. เข้มหัว
សូមជម្រាបសួរអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយខ្ញុំជាដំបូងសូមធ្វើការណែនាំខ្លួនហើយនឹងអត្តសញ្ញាណខ្លួនខ្ញុំបាទជាពលរដ្ឋរស់នៅភូមិវាស្បូវដែលជាភូមិមួយដែលនៅសហគមន៍ជាមួយអង្គការ DSBA ហើយខ្ញុំមានការចាប់អារម្មណ៍ទៅលើអង្គការ DSBA ពីព្រោះកាលពីដំបូងឡើយអង្គការនេះគ្រាន់តែជាសមាគមមួយដែលកើតឡើងក្នុងវត្តដោយព្រះសង្ឃចំនួន7អង្គហើយបច្ចុប្បន្ននេះបានពង្រីកខ្លួនមានអគារយ៉ាងច្រើនហើយសាងសង់ឡើងដើម្បីប្រមូលពុកម៉ែដែលអនាថាបានព្រាអនាថាខ្វះទីពឹងហ្នឹងយកទៅបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលវិជ្ជាជីវៈដោយផ្ដល់ជំនាញផ្សេងៗដល់គាត់យ៉ាងណាមិញដោយអំណួលគាត់បានចូលរួមនៅក្នុងនេះស្រាប់បាទតាក់ទងនឹងជាធ្វើម្ហូបរបាំឬក៏ជំនាញផ្សេងៗហើយខ្ញុំនឹងសង្ឃឹមថាគម្រោងស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់លោកអ៊ីសាក់ជួយនឹងសហគមន៍ជំវិញអង្គការ DSBA នេះហើយខ្ញុំនឹងមានគំនិតនឹងមានការចូលរួមជាមួយសហគមន៍នឹងមានគម្រោងមួយផ្នែកកសិកម្មគឺចិញ្ចឹមមាន់ខ្ញុំសូមនិយាយពីបបនេះ
យកទៅភូមិបាទមកពីភូមិចំហុកភូមិបាទនៅភូមិចិត្តភូមិកុមារវាស្រ័យនេះខ្ញុំថាពីមុនមកទីនេះអត់មានកម្រោងអីគឺចឹងគឺថាសិទ្ធិវាស្រ័យប្រៃទេដល់ពេលបច្ចុប្បន្នមកលោកបង្កើតជាសមាគមមួយខ្ញុំក៏បានឃើញមានបង្កើតជាកុមារកំព្រាកុមារឯកាអីហ្នឹងអត់មានអីទីពឹងអីចឹងការណាឃើញថាបានរីចម្រើនបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលកុមារក៏បានទៅរៀនសូត្រហើយបង្កើតទៅជាក្រុមសិល្បៈសប្តាហ៍នេះមានការរីចម្រើនខ្លាំងហើយបង្កើតអាគារក៏បានច្រើនទៀតហើយនៅភូមិឃុំរបស់ខ្ញុំនៅជិតនោះជាងសំណងឯក៏មានការងារធ្វើគឺថារីចម្រើនច្រើនដោយសារសាងសង់អាគារខាងតាមជុំវិញនោះគឺជាងសំណងមានការងារធ្វើរហូតដល់ចេះដល់ស្រ័យបានភូមិកម្រិតនៅជុំវិញនោះហើយពីមុនមកតែមិនទាន់មានការភូមិកុមារវាស្រ័យនោះផ្លូវនោះទៅមកគឺថាมันមានការលំបាកដោយថាកាត់អីមានផ្លូវពលិពលុកដល់ពេលក្រោយមកចឹងទៅមានអង្គការនឹងបង្កើតជាភូមិកុមារវាស្រ័យនេះនៅភូមិរបស់ខ្ញុំជុំវិញនោះគឺថាផ្លូវទៅមកគឺថាបានស្រួលបានល្អដោយសារអង្គការនឹងបង្កើតជាផ្លូវការជាអាគារនឹងឡើងបាទអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណចំពោះដល់អង្គការដែលបានជួយនៅភូមិរបស់ខ្ញុំជុំវិញនេះបានល្អសូមបកមកទេពីថងខ្ញុំសូមគោរពការរបស់bây giờ đại lá thì với là đại ban một qua đi chưa lại cũng mình đi toàn phát chứ phát bây hôm toàn hai màu trong miền học sáng được Việt Nam
trong đánh chọn sáng vậy
đó là cái chỗ lúc cái sáng ban đi vừa đi hôm hai nói trong phi nó chạy chỗ trong cung của ma bây giờ đây trong thật miền chất ô đi cái ăn ô đi muốn nói đôi bong bị thờ lơ nó nhìn có hai mà ta vì không biết tê nên thật prey điều sửa đây không biết là kia không biết đây ta lại miền tăng vì cây đồng bài lục bài sọc lục hơn quật chung với tăng miền lương bên ấy không hề trong mà ngày cái đó trong nâng cả sọc bài đi điên từ Việt Nam quật lại đồng miền Pasna Cam Than vô miền nhớ là cái đúng không trong vùng bàn nhiều họ không dùng cho thằng con đang bán là luôn
một tiền khô mà trên khóc hai riêng theo tôi chia sẻ ở đây là sao mà nè được non can BSDA đây khi mà từ sắp xa ở riêng vị trí này phường hốp đầu tiên luôn hai mấy ca ăn một bữa tối là non của chị này than smile នេះនាងខ្ញុំឲ្យនឹងមិត្តភ័ក្តិរបស់នាងខ្ញុំ2នាក់ទៀតបានរួមគ្នាបើកខាងវិជ្ជាឋានមួយមានឈ្មោះថាសាមគ្គីតែនៅខេត្តកំពង់ចាមហើយខ្ញុំសប្បាយចិត្តយ៉ាងខ្លាំងដែរបានបើកវិជ្ជាឋានតើខ្លួនហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាក្មេងៗដែលបានសិក្សានៅជំនាន់ក្រោយនឹងខ្លាយជាម្ចាស់ហាងឬក៏អាជីវកម្មគ្រប់គ្នាសូមអរគុណ
ខ្ញុំឈ្មោះរួនវេតមកពីគុំវាសនាចហប់ចហប់ក្រុមគុំសៀនហើយគុំចាមខ្ញុំខាងតាមបន្លែខាងកសិកម្មតែបន្លែញោមចាស្មានដល់ដល់ទីនេះមានអារម្មណ៍នឹងភើបត្រេកអរណាស់ខ្ញុំស្មានដល់ថាដូចនេះខ្ញុំមកទីនេះមានអារម្មណ៍សប្បាយជួបបងប្អូនអស់គ្នាហើយខ្ញុំបានបង្កើតជាក្រុមមួយដាំបន្លែដូចជាតកួនស្បៃសពយ៉ាងបន្លែអរច្បល់អរគុណก็សូមចម្រើនពរទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលមានកិច្ចស្វាគមន៍យ៉ាងកក់ក្ដៅហើយស្នាមញញឹមទាំងអស់គ្នាក៏ហើយអាត្មាពនាមឌឿនកសលនិមន្តមកពីអង្គការ BSTA កាន់គម្រោងបង្ការមេរោគអេដជំងឺអេដនិងការកាត់បន្ថយគ្រោះថ្នាក់នៃការប្រើប្រាស់បំពីគ្រឿងញៀនប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុងប្រហែលខែចុងក្រោយនេះគឺបានអ៊ីសាក់គាត់ជាបតរបស់ BSTA ផងហើយគាត់មកសរសេរថ្នាក់ បណ្ឌិតរបស់គាត់ដែលស្ទើរទៅនឹង social enterprise ហើយគាត់ក៏បានជ្រើសរើសអាត្មាជាសមាជិកជាអ្នកស្រាវជ្រាវនៅក្នុងគម្រោង social enterprise ហើយពីមុនមកគឺអាត្មាមិនដឹងថាអ្វីជា social enterprise ទេបាទហើយមិនដឹងថាមានអត្ថប្រយោជន៍យ៉ាងម៉េចសម្រាប់សហគមន៍សម្រាប់មនុស្សជុំវិញខ្លួនយើងបន្តពីអាត្មាបានចូលរួមរយៈពេលប្រមាណ3ខែកន្លងមកនេះគិតថាការផ្ដល់នៅអត្ថប្រយោជន៍ទាក់ទងទៅនឹង social enterprise ដូចជាអាត្មាលើកនៅក្នុងអង្គការពុទ្ធសាសនាដើម្បីវត្តសង្គមគឺ BSTA គឺយើងមានគម្រោង social enterprise ដែលមានសាលាបង្រៀនអង់គ្លេស computer បណ្ដុះបណ្ដាល training ដូចជាកាស្ដេតម្បាញហើយនឹងមានភោជនីយដ្ឋានស្មៃបន្តមកយើងមានការរើសបងប្អូនដែលគាត់ក្រីក្របំផុតហើយយើងយកមកគាត់បណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលយកគាត់មកបង្រៀនដើម្បីឲ្យគាត់មាននៅជំនាញមួយប្រកបដើម្បីអភិវឌ្ឍនៅក្នុងសហគមន៍ផងដើម្បីអភិវឌ្ឍខ្លួនគាត់និងគ្រួសាររបស់គាត់ពីព្រោះនៅពេលដែលយើងត្រែនពួកគាត់រួចគឺយើងមាននៅការយកពួកគាត់ទៅអនុវត្តទៅម្ដងនៅក្នុងភោជនីយដ្ឋានស្មៃហើយចំណែកឯមួយទៀតគឺតើតើនៅ social enterprise ហេតុអ្វីបានជាអាត្មាចូលរួមនៅក្នុងសហគ្រាសសង្គមពីព្រោះនៅពេលដែលប្រសង់គឺមានន័យថាពឹងផ្អែកឬក៏តកតងទៅនឹងវាស្រ័យតកតងទៅនឹងជាមួយនឹងពុទ្ធបរិស័ទមានន័យថាជុំវិញវត្តជុំវិញវត្តហ្នឹងគឺមានន័យថាបើយើងនាមជាប្រសង់បើយើងអត់ជួយលេខមានតែជួយអភិវឌ្ឍសហគមន៍ទេប្រសង់ក៏អត់មានអីទៅឆានដែរចា៎យ៉ាងមានន័យថាបងចំណុចហ្នឹងហើយបានថាស្រឡាញ់ចូលចិត្តក្នុងការចូលរួមក្នុងសង្គមដើម្បីធ្វើយ៉ាងម៉េចឲ្យសង្គមមានការអភិវឌ្ឍកើនឡើងបន្ថែមមួយទៀតមានន័យថានៅពេលដែលសហគមន៍មានការអភិវឌ្ឍវត្តក៏មានការអភិវឌ្ឍដែរមានន័យថាតោះថាហើយនៅពេលដែលឧទាហរណ៍ដែលពិសាគាត់បានបង្ហាញមុនមិញតិចគាត់តកតងទៅនឹងខ្ញុំប៉ិនមានន័យថាខ្ញុំប៉ិនគឺពុទ្ធបរិស័ទគាត់ប្រមូលគ្រួសារគាត់អញ្ជើញទៅវត្តដើម្បីយកចង្ហាន់ទៅប្រគេនព្រះសង្ឃដែលគង់នៅចាំបវសានៅវត្តហើយមហូបជាច្រើនដែលភិក្ខុសង្ឃចាំនៅបវសានៅក្នុងវត្តគឺឆានអត់អស់ទេអញ្ចឹងមានន័យថាអ្វីដែលព្រះសង្ឃបានមានន័យថាគង់នៅចាំបវសាហើយពុទ្ធបរិស័ទយកទៅប្រគេនយកទៅប្រគេនព្រះសង្ឃហើយគឺពុទ្ធបរិស័ទនៅជុំវិញវត្តហ្នឹងគឺគាត់បានប្រសាគាត់បានយកទៅជូនចែកគៀបញាតិញោមពុទ្ធបរិស័ទគាត់ចឹងនេះជាតកតងទៅនឹងការអភិវឌ្ឍ social enterprise ក៏ហើយអាត្មាគឺមានសេចក្តីសោមនស្សរីករាយយ៉ាងខ្លាំងដែលបានអ៊ីសាក់គាត់បានចុះមកបង្កើតនៅថាសរសេរនៅគណៈបណ្ឌិតរបស់គាត់ទៅនឹង social enterprise ក៏ហើយអាត្មាសូមអរគុណច្រើនសម្រាប់ការយកចិត្តទុកដាក់ក្នុងការសោចហើយស្ដាប់ផងដែរ
Dandong, please come and join us for 1 minute.
Và hay men tên sách cho men mô tả thiết phụ sản phẩm con là ca cho bạn sản lại bán hay mấy này những bạn được tour avert tour certificate thì POC thì là good governance and professional practice ca là viên áp bảo vệ ô này viên ca có nằm bàn của công là vị trí việc và hai chia công an hàng một phần trắng chia đôi tại cái nhóm bây giờ trong đến từ là cung tại nhóm chui quát ហើយគាត់បានសម្រេចនៅទិសដៅជីវិតរបស់គាត់ហើយទោះបីមិនបានច្រើនគ្រប់គ្នានៅមនុស្សកំពុងតែមានបញ្ហាប៉ុន្តែផ្នែកខ្លះឬក៏សមាជិកខ្លះនៃសមាជិកសហគមន៍នោះគាត់អាចបានទទួលផលពីអ្វីដែលយើងបានធ្វើហើយខ្ញុំក៏នឹងបញ្ជាក់ថាស្អីដែលខ្ញុំបានធ្វើកន្លងទៅខ្ញុំមិនដែលនឹកស្មានថានឹងវាជា social enterprise គិតថាយើងអាចធ្វើអីដែលវាជួយដល់សហគមន៍ហើយវាមាននិរន្តរភាពពួកខ្ញុំសម្លឹងឃើញថារាល់ជំនួយដែលបរទេសជួយមករកលានរាប់ពាន់លានដុល្លារនៅក្នុងស្រុកខ្មែរហើយយើងរាប់មកតាំងពី93មកដល់គឺរាប់ពាន់លានដុល្លារហើយខ្ញុំឃើញថាវាអត់មានអីប្រែប្រួលខ្លាំងអញ្ចឹងណាព្រោះយើងធៀបប្រហែល20ឆ្នាំជាងដែលយើងបានទទួលទៅវាអត់មានអីប្រែប្រួលខ្លាំងហើយជាពិសេសគឺកម្រិតជីវភាពជាពលរដ្ឋហ្នឹងគឺអ្នកខ្លះហ្នឹងនៅតែដែលជាពិសេសអ្នកក្រីក្រហ្នឹងគឺអត់បានទទួលផងយើងដល់ពលយើងទៅឲ្យក្រុមទីនោះតែជួយតែបាច់យើងនឹងក្រដែលហើយគេដាក់ឈ្មោះថាសុខខ្មែរបានទទួលជួយយូរហើយតែពេលសុំវាបានអញ្ចឹងឯងនៅតែក្រដែរយ៉ាងហើយនេះគឺជាអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំគិតថាវាខ្ញុំថាវាជា social enterprise ទេតែដល់ពេលធ្វើនេះទៅមានអ្នករៀនសូត្រហើយទីមួយមិនថាឯកសារសុទ្ធិឲ្យគាត់តាមមកគាត់ទៅរៀនដល់កន្លងអានស្ដាប់គាត់ចុះមកជួបខ្ញុំថាខ្ញុំនៅប្រសងទៅក្រសួង social enterprise ខ្ញុំស្អីគឺ social enterprise គាត់ស្អីតាមវត្ថុតាមអ៊ីនធឺណិតចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងបន្តមកខ្ញុំបានសិក្សាថ្មីមួយទៀតតទៅនឹងអ្វីដែលឯកសារគាត់សិក្សាថា ABCD នោះគឺថា asset community based development គឺខ្ញុំឃើញថាកន្លែងហ្នឹងវាខុសគ្នារវាង community need ហើយនិង community priority need ដល់ពេល ABC ចេញមកគឺខ្ញុំយល់ថាមិនមែនត្រឹមតែ community need assessment ឬ research យើងអាចស៊ីជម្រៅទៅដល់ community priority need ទៀតព្រោះខ្ញុំឃើញថាប្រហែលជា2ខែមុនកំឡុងដែលសហព័ន្ធចាប់ផ្ដើមគំនិតរបស់គាត់គឺអត់ចុះសម្រុងគ្នាម្នាក់ៗគឺគាត់មានជំហរផ្សេងៗគ្នាគាត់ថាសហគមន៍គាត់មាននេះសហគមន៍គាត់មាននោះអញ្ចឹងគឺថាសមាជិកទាំងអស់គឺមានជំហររៀងៗខ្លួនខ្លះគាត់ទាញទៅចិត្តខ្លះគាត់ទាញមកទូភាសាខ្លះគាត់ទាញទៅចាំជួយទៅដល់ពេលសរុបមកទៅយើងបានជជែកគ្នាថាយើងគួរតែធ្វើគាត់រៀបចំនេះរបស់ទៅហើយឲ្យគាត់ដាក់ប្រាំទីអាមួយណាលេខ1ឲ្យគាត់ទៅសេដាក់លេខ1អញ្ចឹងទៅបានបោះឆ្នោតយើងមកថាមួយណាជាអត្ថប្រយោជន៍បំផុតដែលចាំបាច់ពួកគាត់ត្រូវចាប់ផ្ដើមអា business នោះទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយអាចជួយដល់សហគមន៍អញ្ចឹងជាអ្វីមួយដែលខ្ញុំបានលើកមួយទៀតពីស្អីដែលឯកសារគាត់បានសិក្សានោះគឺមានអត្ថប្រយោជន៍មែនទែនហើយមនុស្សដែលចូលរួមក៏ប្រេកខ្លួនឲ្យហេតុតែការឲ្យលោកស្រីធ្វើគាត់មានប្រសាសន៍នេះគឺថាមែនទែនទៅខ្ញុំគិតថា research នេះប្រហែលជាពិបាកមួយហើយខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ search លើ proposal គេនិយាយថា search call proposal នោះខ្ញុំតែយកគ្នាទៅខ្ញុំគិតថាខ្ញុំមិនមែននិយាយហើយដល់ពេលឯកសារគាត់មកធ្វើគាត់បង្ហាញពីរបៀប research ដើម្បីសិក្សាមើលជំរឿនការរបស់សហគមន៍ហើយនឹងសត្វរបស់សហគមន៍ណាស្របសម្បត្តិរបស់សហគមន៍ខ្ញុំយល់ថាវារឿងសាមញ្ញមែនទេខ្ញុំថាវាចេះយល់តែខ្លះទៅគឺគាត់បាទអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំអរគុណប៉ុណ្ណឹងគាត់ខ្ញុំសូមចាប់អារម្មណ៍ថាអ្វីដែលជាសមិទ្ធផលរបស់ឯកសារគាត់បានធ្វើ3ខែនេះគឺមានប្រយោជន៍មែនទែនទី1ចូលប្រងសហគមន៍ឲ្យនៅជាក្រុមហើយឥឡូវយើងទទួលវាហៅគាត់តាមរយៈគាត់ស្វែងយល់ reflect ទៅគាត់ថាគាត់អាចជួយឲ្យបានទទួលហើយបន្តទៅយើងរកទុនដើម្បី invest នៅលើក្រុមហ្នឹងឬក៏ផ្សារភ្ជាប់រវាងក្រុមរបស់គាត់ហ្នឹងទៅគម្រោងរបស់យើងដែលមានស្រាប់គម្រោងដែលខ្ញុំdesign ឡើងពីសិទ្ធិរបស់បង្ហាញស្រាប់នៅខ្លះហើយគាត់បានបញ្ជាក់ខ្លះហ្នឹងគឺយើងចង់ឲ្យសហគមន៍ដែលជុំវិញហ្នឹងគាត់បានទទួលផលហើយយើងមានផែនការធ្វើពីដីទីហត្ថលេខមានតែពីបឹងរឡូ hostel ហើយមានពី organic farm អញ្ចឹង organic farm យើងមានមហ័តអញ្ចឹងយើងធ្វើមួយសហគមន៍ណាដែលគាត់អត់មានដីមានកម្លាំងគាត់អាចមក ធ្វើនៅដីនឹងប្រមាណអាចឹងទៅហើយគាត់លុបឲ្យយើងវិញហើយយើងយកផលិតផលដែលគាត់ផលិតបាននោះគឺគុំក្នុងពូជដ្ឋានហើយពូជដ្ឋាននោះបំរើឲ្យភ្ញៀវដែលមកស្នាក់នៅក្នុងបង្គាឡូដើម្បីគាត់មករៀនធ្វើសមាធិអីចឹងជាដើមអញ្ចឹងមានន័យថាយើងអភិវឌ្ឍសេដ្ឋកិច្ចហើយនឹងសហគ្រិនប្រជាពលរដ្ឋនោះតាមរយៈ interculture ដែលថាយើងឆ្លងវប្បធម៌គ្នារវាងវប្បធម៌លោកខាងលិចនិងវប្បធម៌យើងនៅទីក្នុងប្រទេសដើម្បីធ្វើឲ្យវិស័យទេសចរណ៍ផងគាត់មកដល់ពេលវប្បធម៌ផងហើយគាត់អាចរកចំណូលដើម្បីជួយដល់ជីវភាពគ្រួសារครอบครัวនិងសង្គមនេះជាស្អីដែលខ្ញុំឃើញថាអត្ថប្រយោជន៍នៃការជួយ research របស់ឯសានេះគឺថាជាផលប្រយោជន៍នៃគាត់កោត research ទៅខ្ញុំចេះ research សូមអរគុណ
So thank you again to my research team for making my research possible. Can you translate maybe? Just say thank you to my research team for making my research possible.
សូមអរគុណចំពោះក្រុមស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់គាត់ដែលការស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់គាត់នឹងអាចមានលទ្ធផលផ្លែផ្កា
So now with the time we have left, which should have been more time, I understand that, but we're going to do some exercises. For me, actually, the most important thing was that you heard my research team. The exercises I want us to do, they're important, but hearing from them I think was more important than the exercises. So with the time we have left, we are going to do something called the needs map and the asset map. Okay, I want you to turn around and just work with people sitting closest to you in groups of 5 or 6. Please distribute.
We have a file here in the raw, but I think we want
Okay. Please also distribute this.
Nhưng mà ăn cái này nè, đa số
Okay, so you have in front of you what looks like it's just a blank piece of paper, but it's our needs map. If you think about in your community, what are the things that you need to develop your community, or what are the things that stop you from developing your community? So, examples can sometimes be that there is a lack of communication between people, that there are problems with sanitation, there are problems with irrigation in rural communities, lack of knowledge, lack of skill, people's selfish behavior. These are the kind of things that are often the target in a development project. They think about what are the needs and what are the deficits in communities. So please just take a minute to read this. I don't really need you to all write it down. Write down what are the needs in your community. That might be a bit depressing, but just look at the needs map so that you can understand that kind of needs analysis approach. When I was doing the research in Kampong Cham, they would say that we have a lack of knowledge, we have a lack of skill, we have low education, we have a lack of money, we don't have any associations, we don't have any community organisations really that function well. We have no irrigation, our water is too expensive, it's from a private company. We have a lot of, we have poor quality soil. There were lots of problems that they could identify quite quickly in their community, and we would say, well, when you read this, do you feel like your community can easily start social enterprises? Do you think your community can easily use resources to start new forms of community groups, community organisations, to improve the local economy? Of course, when you look at the needs map, you say, well, we can't do it because we don't have these things. So how do we move from a position where we think we don't have these things and we can't do it, to thinking instead we have things and we can do it? How do we move to think the glass is half full and not half empty? Thank you very much. Okay. So here you have a larger projection. This is what we do when we think about what we need. We think about what we don't have, what stops us developing our community. We think about deforestation, we think about social problems, we think about young people with drug problems. These are all problems in our community, and I'm not saying they are not problems, but if we choose to focus only on that, and then we say to the donor, please give us money, then we are not doing anything to actually lift ourselves out of a situation, and actually donors are more likely to support communities that are doing something for themselves because the donors won't think they're a lost cause. So actually, if you want donor support in some ways, maybe it's better to show them that you can do something, because then they have something to work with. I actually found this even in the United Kingdom. I was working on a regeneration program in the United Kingdom, and we found that the local government focused like this. They said to communities, you have to prove how poor you are before we'll give you money. And then they had communities competing to be the poorest. We are poorer than them, so we need your money. And actually this was an ethnically divided city called Bradford in the United Kingdom. And eventually the Asian community lived in one area. They were saying the white community have everything. The white community was saying the Asian community have everything. Eventually, they had the worst riots the country had seen in 20 years because the local government continued to fund communities in this way that just made them against each other instead of working with each other, instead of integrating and using their assets to the best of their advantage. So I want to move on from this, and I want you to think instead about assets. What are the assets in the community? What are the strengths and the capabilities of the people you know? What do people know about? What skills do they have? Do they know about languages? Do they know about IT? Do they know about reading? Also thinking about what are the businesses and resources in your community. Which local businesses do you know about who might be able to help start social business? What kind of physical resources do you have? Do you have natural resources? Do you have agriculture? Do you have trees? Do you have forestry? What kind of local associations do you have? Do you have NGOs locally? Do you have pagoda associations? Do you have farming associations, teaching school associations, teaching board, school boards? Just think about all the assets that you have in communities and try to write them down. Please discuss in your groups. If you work on your own, you have your own knowledge. If you work in groups, you have shared knowledge. Yeah? It doesn't have to be a duck or a rabbit, it can be a duck and a rabbit.
So, do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? I think we do like problems and then the solutions what we have. So we do like what's in the community. That's, I think it's easy to start from the middle and then go out to find what is the problems in the middle, like for the people and practices, and then go out so you can see then the associations and business. And then you see in the same community you we see what the assets for the people, like say like people are like family values or assets and sharing, like community sharing, those kind of thing, and then for local association institutions, maybe like I don't know, like public services and stuff like that, and then business, something like that. So you can do it in the community, what you want to say. Start from the problems and then go to the assets. Yeah.
Why you know?
Corruption can be institution or institution. corruption maybe falling into the
Migration.
Where people who are living in lost areas, most people in other families. So migration is different lifestyle. People are
Migration out. Migration out. Migration. Yeah. This is can we education level?
I think the education
Yeah, I work in Singapore.
They have excavators. They have excavators in the village. And they have new mechanized means of pumping water. They have the rice milling machine. They have buildings, some are underused. The local school was not being used in the evenings, and it is now run by BSDA as a social enterprise language school between the hours of 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. This is an asset-based approach. They wouldn't have even known they were using an asset-based approach, but it's the mindset of Van Dong and Sokuan and people like this to instinctively focus on that. They saw an underused school, they saw the opportunity, they now teach 600 children every evening languages. And the festivities, Chumben, the Khmer New Year, the Water Festival, all of these things are income-generating opportunities and opportunities to improve social relations, spread information, do research, do market research. And they can make jewellery, they can grow food, they can do carpentry, construction, they can repair motos, and they help each other. They assist at festivals. They can facilitate meetings, they can communicate meetings. So when we look at this, we might not be jumping up and down saying, yes, we can do it. But we at least start to think that it might be possible. I did the asset map and I said to them, okay, how do we feel now? Do we feel like we can start business in the community? And they said, well, maybe we can do chicken raising and pig raising. It didn't move mountains, but it moved something. And maybe today you feel that subject position change. We call it changing from the negative register to the positive register. You understand what it looks like when you see the problems in Cambodia, but now when we focus on this, we can look at the things that Cambodian people can do for themselves and do for themselves already, how we can harness that and use it in different ways, and maybe in new, more innovative ways. On the form that I just gave you, shifting focus, you will see something you can do later, a portrait of gifts. What you know about, gifts of the head. What you can do, gifts of the hand. What you care about, gifts of the heart. The bar charts that I showed you in my presentation that will be made available online is really drawing from a questionnaire that we developed out of Portrait of Gifts. Caring for sick children, helping children learn, cooking, computer skills, helping neighbours with transportation and shopping. These are all gifts of the head, gifts of the heart, gifts of the hand. And I might make more of these bar charts available online because it's quite a comprehensive survey of about 100 different gifts. So I may draw more of these charts together and put them on the website at the University of Phnom Penh. So I'd like to say now, Madam Viet or Kunchiran Niak Tiang Okania Gal Banjodu, Kunyam Som Kumta Niak Mian Projum Ma'o. So thank you all for coming. It's been wonderful to introduce you to my researchers. I need to get taxi, Lamjam, Sati, can you help me maybe ask them, do they want to collect some food for the bus?